thinking I'm looking professional. Check this out. How you like this? Oh my God. I was playing around with this because I like the idea of people knowing when you're going to start. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. I can hide back here and like see comments and share, change my edits, do what I need to, and y'all know when to start. Get your cup of coffee, get ready to go before I jump in. Good morning, everybody. All right, we're not gonna wait to get the tickets down to 0. Boom, hit the button. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I love that. That's actually fun. I'm having some fun with that. I'm working. I'm trying to make it a little more professional, best that I can. I'm trying to rub it down, smack it up, flip it up, shine it down. Try a little more professional. Good morning. How y'all doing this morning? Ooh, do I want to talk about Feed the Wolves? Is that Beaufont? I know Beaufont's in jail, right? Beaufont, he's in jail. He's in jail watching. You can't comment, can you? Yeah, don't add too much comedy to these platforms. They'll throw you off. They'll throw you, start laughing and stuff you're not supposed to. Good morning. Yes, Trish, you are first today. Good. Oh, ooh, and the Blankenships are starting up this week, right? The Blankenships, Curse of Oak Island. That starts up this week. Good morning. Good morning, Maha. Greetings, brother William. Jasmine, Christopher, Carrie, Rebecca. We're gonna get started. Apparently, war is in the air, so we gotta talk about. I don't talk about war. We're gonna talk about because to me, war is fake news. I don't want to talk about war. We can talk about why we shouldn't be doing it. Talk about why we shouldn't be going. Why is it fake news? Why does it make no damn sense that we're still talking about war in 2020? What is today? Monday? Monday. Happy slavery, everybody. Happy Slavery Monday. Let me get the comments right. Hopefully, Facebook comments work today. Get the animations in. Well, I actually started looking at what was happening in Iran. I was ignoring it, but I just shrunk the YouTube comments. Now they don't look right. That's weird. If I make them big, they look right. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna change them over here. Good morning, Christine Wins on YouTube. Starting to make your transition from Facebook, huh? People are getting tired of it. They're getting tired. You can play the block game for a little bit, and after a while, people start to get tired. But that's the setup. Hang on, I'll tell you. I'm gonna try to fix the comments over here real quick. I was listening to this morning. I was listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson on Rogan, and that kind of dominated my morning. I jumped around on a few other things, but I found that to be highly interesting in what he was talking about the mergers of astrophysicists in the military, because that's what we have to talk about. And of course the UFO. You might get the UFO alien people this morning, because that's what I was posting on. Keep calm, feed the wolves, feed the wolves. America was made into a wolf, and anywhere it sees oil, it's gonna start growling. Let me see if I can find a good wolf growl. Feed the wolves, because when the wolves are hungry, they're coming for you. They're always gonna come for you. They're hungry, they're wolves. Like, wolves are dogs. Hang on, let me change the height. Wolves are dogs. Yeah, I just changed the height. It still looks weird. But when they're fed, they don't want to eat you. And when when they're trained to get along with humans are no longer their food. But don't ever mistake it. You are their food. You're absolutely their food. All right, I'm gonna do something weird this morning. It's not looking. When I shrink it, I can't read it, and it's too big. So, that's sorry. That's why Beaufont got banned. Oh, did you see the cake? I can't even show the cake. I'm not gonna show the cake. That's gonna get me banned. Apparently, you can't make a dingleberry cake. They banned dingleberry cakes. All right. Well, we'll see. Let me see what happens. The Facebook comments may not even work today. They were jacked up last week, and they might still be blocking it or something. So that may not even work. I might try to fix it. We'll see how it goes. All right. Let me get started here. Nah, yeah, I can't show it. I want to show you the cake. I can't show you the cake. He made a cake and he made it look like something. I don't know if Beaufort made that cake or not, but I can't show it. They're gonna block it. They're gonna delete it. Apparently, it's sexual content. Oh, but one thing I do want to show. Look at this. I'll show you this. We talking about draft dodgers. Y'all see this one right here? Talking about draft dodgers. I'm all for the draft dodge. I think everybody should dodge the draft. I don't think you're a coward. I think you're a coward if you go fight for banks. That's what I think. I think if you don't stand up to real powerful people, then you're the coward. But if you stand up to the real powerful people, then you're the warrior. You're the soldier. And doing what you're told isn't always the patriotic act. But defying banks and lords that have taken over your government, that's something different. All right, let me switch to music. It looks a little dead out there. Am I even still alive? What the heck is going on? Y'all quiet this morning. Y'all just sitting back waiting for me to say something. That's not how this works. That is not how this works. Don't sit back and wait for me. I'm all for the draft dodgers. I think that you're smart. I think that if you realize that the wars aren't for your country, you realize the wars aren't for your land, they're not for your kids, then you shouldn't be involved in them. That's what I think. So I'm all for draft dodgers. You need to dodge the hell out the draft if they don't respect your rights. Why in the world? I wish somebody would come to my door and tell me I need to go to war for some banks and oil. You crazy? Hell no. Why in the world would I go fight for people that don't even see me as a human being? Hell no. Sorry, not gonna happen. They don't respect the Bill of Rights. They don't respect the Constitution. They don't respect children. They don't respect any of it. And I'm a little annoyed. I'm gonna tell you what I'm annoyed about. I'm annoyed this morning. So we got into the war topic this weekend. Let me turn this down. Here we go. We started talking about the war topic this weekend, and then people started justifying it to me, which was weird, right? Because we all agree on the Epstein Island thing, right? We all agree that pedophilia is a bad idea and anything that feeds it. So here we go into the time for the saber rattling for war, and you got people who just 5 minutes ago were against pedophilia in Epstein Island, but they're saying the war is a good idea. I got a problem with that. Oh, they're already playing with it. Yep, there it goes. See, look at that. The animation this I know, because this is not a favorite topic. It's not that Facebook is pro-war. It's just that Facebook has a economy they must operate in. But I don't do the two-face thing. I don't like that. Times like this, people's costumes zippers shut, right? There's no way you're going to tell me that a pedo is a bad thing and war is a good thing, because you know what happens to children in war. You know what happens to women in war. You know what happens to old people in war. You know better, but I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make friends, I guess, kind of, but I'm not interested in like double talk. I'm not interested in hypocrites. If you got a problem with Epstein Island, you damn sure got a problem with the war in Iran. If you're in sync with your ethics, if you really have passion for children, you're not dropping buildings on them, you're not cheering that to happen. It was a criminal act that happened when they killed that general. If we killed the general of another country, that is an act of war. That is a criminal act. It is a war crime. It was a war crime when Obama did it. It's a war crime when Trump does it. You don't get to play sides and favorites, not even pretend with me. Oh, well, we're going to go on over there and we had to take out the general because the general was a part of some international gangs and come on, man, stop it. Hold on, I got to find something for you. Stop it. People, you got to be honest. Be honest. Like if you just want to be a Trump voter, then just say that. Like Obama, right? Because the same thing with the Obamaites. If you just love Obama and you're going to be okay with murdering and killing and warring and all the crap he's doing, then just say, no, I just love him. And anytime he murders people, I'm okay with it. And it's the same flip-flop. But and the sick thing is now I'm starting to see the same weird ego capitalism in some of my Trump friends I saw in the Obama friends. And I'm just going to ask y'all to pull up. Pull up. Pull up, baby. You're going down. Pull up. You're not going to convince me that you hate pedophiles, but you like to create the wars that feeds human trafficking. You like the wars that drops bombs on buildings. But besides the common damn sense point, which is Wesley Clark told you that the wars were set up a long damn time ago. Wesley Clark told you that. So Wesley Clark said that we need to go invade, and then now your president goes to invade. Don't act like it was your president's idea. Don't act like your president made that decision, and don't act like the general is a part of some gangster affiliation or some where he's fighting the deep state. If the deep state called for the war back in Wesley Clark's days when he said that we need to go to war, then obviously the war's not about anything that's in the news. It was ordered. Someone drove up to the drive-thru in America and said, hey, we need a war. We need y'all to go murder some people and steal some resources. And when you do it, it's up to you, but you're gonna do it. Don't feed the wolves. That's what I'm saying. Keep calm, don't feed the wolves. America's a wolf. It's a wolf. And besides, war is useless. War has no purpose anymore, right? When I say America's a wolf, is we've made a nation, a world, dependent on fossil fuels and oil, when at the time they created the fossil fuels and the oil, it was outdated. The day they made the combustion engine, you already had electric engines. The day they made this phony, fake world, the technology it's based in, it was outdated from day one. So first of all, I need to be clear. If you're dodging the draft, you're not dodging patriotism, you're dodging Rothschildism. All right, okay. You're dodging people who don't even respect you as a human being. And my philosophies on war, which I know I can't talk about a lot, that's when I get banned. My philosophies on war are based in what the veterans say. I've never been to war. I've had people pull guns on me. I ain't never been to war. They're always a lie. War is always a racket. And it's a huge racket when you got some damn UFOs flying around. I got lighten it up. Because they'll turn the video off. Let me see if I can get the comments back. Now, not the comments, the animation. They didn't turn it. Oh, now it's all conflicted. Let me see. The censors are pro-war on Facebook. Right. Well, because that's the climate we operate in, right? Money comes from the oil and the minerals, and the wars are a part of that. We made a wolf, and so Facebook also being a wolf, it needs to get fed. And the only way it's going to get fed, dang it, that doesn't look right. The only way it's going to get fed is if Facebook is pro-war. So Facebook's not really pro-war. I mean, social media is not pro-war. Hang on, I'm trying to edit this. It just means that they're a wolf and they got to eat. So the same way that the Trump voters are becoming Obama voters because they're all cheering the same thing when their guy does it, I'm going to try something different today. They're just hungry. They want to put it in their belly, and we need to stop making wolves. We need to feed them. We can feed everybody, like I always say. Not what I say, but what we know. We can feed everybody. And what is a terrorist anyway? A terrorist is just somebody who's hungry. Oh, you know what I can do? Let me try this. There we go. Hang on. I'm playing with it. I'm going to read the comments. And then, so I was watching Neil deGrasse Tyson on Joe Rogan. And I like Neil. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. I like Neil. I like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Don't agree with him, but I like him. He got to one spot and he was talking about the sinks between astrophysicists and the military-industrial complex, which, you know, is one of my favorite topics. If everybody's seeing these UFOs flying everywhere, then obviously free energy is real. If you look at the gun cameras for those UFOs, or the last popular one, the Navy one, it was an IR camera, infrared, which means, and there was no heat trail. So what does that tell you? It tells you that whatever's flying around this world isn't powered by fossil fuels. And if it's not powered by fossil fuels, it's free energy. It's something that's better. It means that we don't actually have to go to war in the Middle East to steal people's oil. We can do something else. You can debate about whether it's a part of the military-industrial complex, Space Force, $21 trillion, or if it's aliens. It doesn't really matter. The bottom line is we built a world on a lie. In walks climate change. Same damn thing. They're all, well, fossil fuels are causing climate change. No, that's not the cause of climate change. Stupidity is the cause of climate change. We still let government have secrets. People ask, oh, there you go. Oh, look, animations are working. See, I made it nice, and now we can have some animations. Some emoticons. So climate change is a false flag. War is a false flag. All the wars were started on a lie, and all of the global projects around fossil fuels are a lie because we don't need to. We know that somebody's flying those free energy devices around. I like the question on the talk that they were having between Neil and Joe. Joe asked him, he said, well, you know, what happened to the Jetsons, right? Everybody wants to know what happens to the Jetsons. Oh, well, we're going to be flying around and, you know, hovering cars and stuff. Damn it, the hovering. Let me show you the hovering car. It's a UFO. Somebody's flying around. Maybe you ain't a Jetson. Maybe that's the problem. Hang on, let me show it to you. Let me pull up the picture. Jetsons, they got the flying craft. You just ain't a Jetson. Right here. Oh, hold on. That's the other problem. You don't know what's true and what's, is this it? No, it's not. It's this one right here. This is the one right here. This is the official one that the United States Navy says was flying around. The funny thing about this, now that I actually had time to look at it, is that this wasn't an isolated event. This didn't just happen, right? And there wasn't just one pilot. So first of all, it was an F-18. It was two of them. Well, it was a group of them. They were going out on training. And the way he explained it is that the radar people, whoever was running that, forgot what he called them. I posted a link. You can watch the testimony for the Air Force pilot. He said they knew they were out there. They were operating for about 2 weeks. They were watching these craft come down from above 80,000 feet down to 20,000 feet. They'd mess around, do something, and then fly away. And he said, well, I wonder why they didn't cancel the training event. Well, they didn't cancel the training event. So you got two F-18s out there with fake missiles. Missiles. They didn't have real missiles. They had, because it was a training op. They went out there training, and they said, oh, well, we got to cancel the training. We need to divert you to go take a look at the UFO, or to go take a look at an anomaly. And so they sent him over there. He and a lady pilot, y'all. This might be the first lady pilot seeing the UFO. She saw it too. She didn't do the interview. She saw it. She's smart enough to not do the interview. We still live in a world where dummies think free energy doesn't exist and the UFO jets and hovercrafts aren't real. And so, and so they flew over and they were flying close, you know, and they were within the same grid of the UFO. And the guy was like, okay, we're going to go down and take a look at the UFO. And the lady was like, hell no, I ain't going down there. She didn't say that, but she meant to say that. He's like, I'm gonna go down, and because the UFO was down, it was flying above the water. It was a tic-tac-toe shape or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go take a closer look. See, this is what men are for, y'all. This is what men are good at. This is why, because women, the smarter the species. The woman was like, she was in the other F-18 like, oh, hell no, I ain't going down there 2020. That's a damn UFO. I was not born yesterday, so a whole lot of stars out there. Some of them might be nice, some of them not. I ain't going down there. Besides the fact, that might be the Russians playing around with one of their free energy devices, trolling us. I ain't going. And the guy was like, I'm jumping in. I'm going down. So the guy, I'm going to go take a look, 2020. I'm making some of this stuff up, that part. And he flew down to go close to the UFO, and they flew in circles and flew up. So he was there for a minute. And then the UFO, I guess it got bored and disappeared. According to radar, it reappeared, was it 60 miles away in a few seconds? Reappeared back where he ran into it at. And then after a while, it flew away. But if we know that free energy devices are flying around, then we know we don't have to go to war. We don't have to go to oil-rich countries with poor military defenses to go murder them and steal their oil. But America was made into a wolf. So but that was the popular one. People have been saying this for a long time. So people have been saying that they had these jets and hovercrafts flying around everywhere. That's more important than climate change. It's more important than war. And that's why I'm glad that war is a thing now. Like, I'm glad, because now the two most popular discussions in the media are fake. Now we can do something with this. The question is, are we going to do it? Are we going to force the conversation over to why are we going to murder tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, and treasonously send the American soldiers to go fight other people over something that does not need to happen? Right? That's what we have to do. We have to take on these people, the climate change people. I'm not saying the climates aren't changing. When I say climate change is fake news, it's fake news on the reason that they say it's happening. Because they want tax dollars, or they have some ego capitalism or votes or something else that they want. They're trying to take a bad situation and make capital out of it. UFO capitalism. Can we make a word today? Call it free energy capitalism. Can we call it free energy capitalism? Because they're going to go start a war on a lie. Bad situation, we have a world based in fossil fuels. We know we don't have to have this, but they need votes. They need the Democrats to be more Democrats and the Republicans to be more Republicans, and any ignorant people to be more ignorant. instead of common sensing. If Wesley Clark called for the wars, told you the wars were ordered a long time ago, and then the wars happen, the war has absolutely nothing to do what you think it does because your president tells you that, or because the news says that. The war was ordered, which tells you in the common sensing mind, a critical thinking mind, that the reason somebody ordered the war was decades ago. And everything since has been excuses to try to get you to go along with it. So I don't want to sit here and yell at people. I don't want to yell. I don't really, it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. If we were all together fighting pedophilia a minute ago, how the hell are you now cheering for war? I don't get it. I don't get it. There's a disconnect, and I think that's what we have to talk about. Let me go back and I'll do some comments. I don't really want to talk about the UFOs thing. I think that it is a discussion that we need to make sure we railroad. If the energy is there to have, if everything popular news is about energy and we know energy is free, then why wouldn't we raise the flag on that and force that to be the discussion item? That's my question. But I just hope that a few friends I saw that were on the Trump side of things, I hope they pull up. That's all. I hope they pull up. Because these pedophilia islands, they get most of their human trafficked from war. Right? You're not going to tell me a president's fighting the deep state that's doing what a deep state ordered decades ago. We had a discussion this weekend on it. I was talking to Brother Walter. He said the deep state doesn't exist. Right? The deep state is, Trump is the deep state. Nonsense like that. And I said, well, first of all, the deep state isn't new. Because some people, which I will give the Trump voters credit for this. I give the right credit for this. The right is more of a conspiratorial nature. They came from that. I get that. And they're right. You're supposed to be a conspiracy theorist when the kings and lords are always conspiring against the poor slaves. I get that. However, at some point in time, you have to realize that you just took, the Obama people just took their shoes off and you just put theirs on and you became them. All right. So I had a point to make and it slips my mind at the moment. I'm sad, y'all. I'm sad. I don't know what to say. I'm sad. We were all together on this, y'all. We were fighting Epstein Island. We were fighting to save the children. We were fighting to build a better world, fighting for human rights. We were doing that, and now we're having these discussions. And then even Brother Walter said the deep state doesn't exist. I said, no, the deep state's always been there. The Trump voters won, and they're taking something that was known, which is there is a deep underlying group or groups that are making decisions for the state, and they're deep, which they're never uprooted by an election. Right? We knew this. And this came from like Tom Woods and a few others. I mean, it probably started way before then. But we know there was a bureaucracy. Like that's one part of the deep state, right? You've got federal agencies and they dictate what happens. They tell you what's Schedule 1 and what's not. They tell you what you can and can't do. So whether you get a president in, you got your congressman in or out or whatever you do, they're deep, they're still there. And even Obama said that. Even Obama said there's a deep state. So we know there's a deep state. What you call it is whatever you want to call it. But the reality is you don't control your government. Can we call it that? Let's do that. All right. Let's not argue. Let's just call it, we don't call it deep state. We'll just call it Americans have no say in their government. That's what we do. And the Britons are going to do whatever the Americans do because they're all linked together through all this Rothschild banking or whatever it might be. All right. Anyway, that's it. Somebody says it's exhausting. It is exhausting. It's like, people, grow up. We don't have to go to war, and you literally don't have to go to work. We're a slave colony. And until we figure that out, until we grow the hell up and use a little bit of common damn sense about what's flying all around this planet, has been flying for the longest time, and the government refuses to address it, tells you everything that you need to know. They don't want the wars to stop because they're a wolf. They're a wolf. They're, as long as the wolf is fed, you know what I'm saying when I say that? As long as the wolf is fed, the wolf might play with you. The wolf might look at you. It might sniff you. It might run around. It might give you a little growl, but it's not going to eat you. It has nowhere to put you. Now you do something stupid, it'll rip you to shreds. It has a pentagon. As long as it's fed, it's fine. But America is a puppet and it's starved for fossil fuels. So the Pentagon is going to do what it's supposed to do, which is to go feed itself. We are the ones who say, no, you're not allowed to feed yourself that way. We're going to feed you on free energy. We're going to force the release of technology we know exists, or we're going to take all the war effort technology and discover it. Because it can go one of two ways. If you say that it's Space Force that has the $21 trillion jetson hovercrafts they're flying around, then they need to release it. And most of the Pentagon doesn't know that. Most of the presidents don't. It's above them. They're 12 levels of secrecy above the US president. They have no idea about most of this stuff. They're ignorant. Same with the climate change folks. But they get on microphones and either they lie to you or they're ignorant about the topic and they're speaking and they need to shut up and sit down. We don't need to go kill people for this stuff. So either way, if it's Space Force, you release those patents so we can have a real discussion, so we can stop murdering each other for resources. If it's aliens, then we need to research it. If it's aliens, then okay. So you take all the war effort, you take all these scientists, these engineers, these people that are working on making more fuel efficient cars and fossil fuels work better and make cooking oil engines and all of this, and you put them all on what the hell is free energy? What the hell are these crafts? Does anybody actually have them? You have investigations with, what is the guy's name? Bob Lazar. Was any of that true? All right. Yeah. It's exhausting. I'm done. I'm tired. That's it. That's all I got. I'm gonna look at comments and we'll go see where it goes from there. But I finally got into it. I didn't know what happened. I had no idea what was happening in Iran. I got all these pop-ups. I tend to ignore them. And finally I engaged. I guess we killed a general. And we're sitting back waiting for him to respond. If you respond, we're gonna attack. Well, that's why they killed the general, y'all. Don't be stupid. Somebody ordered the war. You got the CIA doing what it's always doing. And finally, they got a time where people are stupid enough and they can get away with an Iran war. So Hillary Clinton's happy. She's jumping up and down, dancing and singing because now her people gonna make a lot of money. She ain't gonna get much money out of that. I'm sure she's gonna get something. She did her role. She got people to be happy or to be okay with war with Iran. And now you got the other side cheering for her. And meanwhile, I'm just sitting back like, you just murdered a general. What do you think they're gonna do? What would America do? I asked that question. What do you think America would do if its top general were murdered by Iran or somebody else? We'd be in the middle of World War III right now. Your children would be eating out of stomach tubes. There'd be so much radiation in the world. We murdered him. And they're going to respond, and they should, and then we're going to respond, and the escalation happens, and you think it has to do with the general or whatever, and it's just, you have no idea what runs your country. Facebook censors our Atlantic Council. Thank you for saying that, Adam, because I keep messing that up. I think I keep calling them the Global Alliance, and I think that came out of Stargate. I'm not sure. They're pro-war, pro-spy, Pentagon, CIA, NATO, etc. nuts. Exactly, Adam. And people say dumb stuff like they say, well, how come the UN doesn't do anything? The UN is a pro-war organization, okay? They're designed to get you to be okay with war, like Democrats and Republicans. They're just designed to control the opposition. Now, if somebody starts a war that doesn't have raw-child central banking, you will hear from the UN. If things get too bad in one of their genocide efforts, like in Yemen, then you'll hear from the UN. Why? Because they gotta say something. They'll control the opposition. They gotta keep you believing that there are human beings in control of some of this. And it's just psychopathic activity. So there'll be controlled opposition. We gotta stop the genocide in Yemen. And they're not really for that. Their money comes from the organizations that are doing the genocide in Yemen. But they control the opposition. But that act, that peace speak is what fools people. So absolutely, but they're called the Atlantic Council. And that's who controls who Facebook hired to do their censoring. So of course, social media, but they had to. So that's why I say, like, I don't get on Facebook or Mark Zuckerberg. It's what they have to do. They're a wolf. They need advertising. They're not going to get advertising unless they agree with the state. They're not going to be an organization in the United States unless they go along with what the wolf wants. And the wolf is hungry. The wolf wants oil, so they got to go along with it. Same with the pharmaceutical industry. Why do you get in trouble talking about vaccines on social media? Why are you not allowed to really talk about it much anymore? Because they get money from pharmaceutical industry. They get the money from the pharmaceutical industry, and they're a whoop and they're hungry. They need ad dollars, and you don't get to talk about vaccines. You can't talk about synthetic drugs. You got to ask your doctor. If you say anything different, they'll throw you off. It's just money. It's just economics. It's just common damn sense. You can't talk about geoengineering. Brother Dane ain't even on here anymore. You can't even post the links to geoengineering.org. Why? Because he was telling you what was truthful. He was telling you one of the major causes behind humans changing the climate has nothing to do with fossil fuels. It has to do with the cloud modification technologies that they use. And so they threw him off. Why? Because if the DOD and like Adam said, the Atlantic Council are behind who's doing all of this, and they're using those weather geoengineering technologies as weapons, you're not allowed to talk about them. But these are common sense things, and people aren't common sensing. They like to be led around. We have this whole slave mind thingy going, and people want to continue with that. Men suffer for war too, not only women, children, old folks. I suggest men may suffer more than others. Rebecca, I agree with you. I don't disagree with you. I was just saying that it was a woman pilot who saw the UFO. I just said she was smarter and she stayed up at 30,000 foot altitude. No, they're at 20,000 and she was watching. She was watching the man go play with the UFO. I just said she was smarter. But of course, I think, I don't know. You know what? It's a pointless thing. The bottom line is war shouldn't exist anymore. It's 2020. War should not exist anymore. There's no reason for it to exist. The only reason it exists is because we're stupid. That's the only reason. And they take children out of it and they take them into slavery and human trafficking, and that's a bad idea. All right, good morning, Kim. Let me see. Alpha males are whipped out more than any other for war. Yeah, Rebecca, but women can do but women can do what men can do too. And so this is why the recruiting efforts is turned towards women, right? To get them to go off and do psychopathic things for oil. Good morning, Christ Henderson. I thought you were banned. What happened? Good morning, Sinclair. Susan is in the house, and Gabrielle and Mary got my coffee. I like my ride. Okay, Deborah. Yeah, well, we kind of talk about aliens. I think it's a great topic. And Deborah, like the fact that you see UFOs everywhere. Like I think they did come from aliens, but I'm okay calling them Space Force because of all the whistleblowers saying it's just technology that we have that they're not sharing with the public, and so war needs to stop. Along with the climate change nonsense. I think, Deborah, that's why they made the topic ridiculous. That's why they made it funny. That's why they made it, something that people don't like to talk about and most people don't talk about. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson, for example, Deborah. I was watching, and it was hard to watch it because he is a pro-government guy. Right? Well, all right, I take that back. We don't know what Neil is, right? Neil is an online personality. He is an entertainer and a scientist. He will say the things that allow him to operate. And he has a big name. He doesn't talk about aliens. Why? Does Neil, I think if you got Neil deGrasse Tyson by himself, he would tell you, oh, hell yeah, aliens exist. Man, you crazy? You know how big space is? Hell yeah, they exist. But you get them on television, you get them on Joe Rogan, oh, the aliens, they can't exist. It's just not even possible. I've never seen one. And like his famous saying, what he'll say is, he'll say, well, next time you get abducted, grab a pen, a paper clip or something like that and bring it back and show us. He has to say that, right? He gets his money from science. He gets his money from grants. He gets his money from military, right? Because the biggest proponents of science are military, right? Because they want the science to make weapons to go murder people. And so if you want to be a scientist, you want to be popular, you don't get to talk down to war. You have to talk neutral or talk up to it. You don't get to talk down to government. You got to talk neutral or you got to talk it up. And his point was, we need government to drive technology. And he said something that blew me away. He said, yeah, well, this is not the first Hubble. I said, it's not the what? Heaven said, what? It's not the what? It's the Hubble we have in space right now is not the first Hubble. That's the first Hubble they told you about. That they've been making Hubbles for the military for a while. We don't know what version it is. They've been making this stuff to spy on us and look in space for the longest time. But that was his point, is that war and military government drives technology, and it doesn't. Crowdsourcing drives technology. But he made some valid points as a capitalist. He said, well, because people have to invest, and you're not going to get an investment dollar until you have government data that we've tried this and this didn't work and we need this patent, we got to go this way, and we tried this and people died. And so when you sit down with the the investors, you can explain to them what you got to do and how to do it better than the government before someone private will fund it. And he's right about that. But he's not right about using a government that's a wolf, that's based in fossil fuels and oil and violence and starvation, scarcity, oppression, and to do that driving. You can crowdsource things without a government. You know, and capitalism, I mean, yeah, you can use capitalists to make things, but people, once again, they're not driven by capital any more than they're driven by passion. People do things for passion all the time. They do things for money very little of the time. You really think about it, people go to work, and what do they do while they're at work? They pretend that they're working. They pretend they're working and do their passions. Y'all remember when, what was that game came out? Remember when, was it Windows 3.1 and it rolled out on everybody's desktop at work? The young people have no idea what I'm talking about. That's okay, we love y'all anyway. And it had this little box, little icon said games. Because most of us, we did our jobs on computers, and Windows 3, it was 3.0 or 3.1, had games. The whole world changed. Why? Because now we can do our passions at work while we go to slavery. And so we all go to work, and of course you click on it, it's like, whoa, Scrabble, and what was the one that every spades? And so we started playing games at work, right? We'd rather do games or our passion than do the work. So you'll work 9 to 5, but you'll do your passion 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You get home, you'll do your passions. On the weekends, you'll do your passions. In between cutting the grass and cleaning the house and the bathrooms and everything else you got to do, raising children. People are motivated by passions, not greed. Psychopaths are motivated by greed, right? So you can't build a world based in capitalism because it's stupid. To me. So I think he was off base on all of that. But that's what he has to say. To get big, you got to say those things. And people have to, I think we as a group have to realize this. We got to stop attacking people because they have big names. If you got a big name, you're going to have to collude with this deep state thing, this statist government monster of a psychopathic thing. You don't get to go and be truthful and be big. You get killed doing that. You know, but Neil is doing good work. He's getting people excited about science again. But he's completely wrong, you know, when he says things on live television that will help him get grants. A world on a lie, hence why we have to distinguish the real world when we speak. Absolutely, Susan. We have to be honest. We have to be honest. And right now, unfortunately, Susan, it means that I have to call my Trump folks out. Unfortunately, I love them to death, but y'all got to stop with the war. It's not for you. It's not for America. It's not for soldiers, and it's not for people. It's for massively powerful psychopathic people that run deep states in America that have been running it for a long time that called for the war. And they didn't care if Democrats or Republicans do it. One was going to do it, and we can't be stupid enough to cheer it because it was Obama or because it's Trump. We got to be honest. Like, if kids matter, if human life matters most, then we have to be those people. Otherwise, the zippers on your costume, it shows. It shows that you really don't care. It shows that you're here for your ego. And unfortunately, I will say this, though. I used to be. This is why I don't talk about people, because I used to be a little ego-driven, ego-capitalist bastard. I used to be, too. Now I don't play those games. I wanted to win. Just to beat out the Republicans, just to beat out the Democrats. And finally, I realized that was a narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic thing that was created by psychopaths. And I leveled up. It didn't feel good when somebody told me that. Somebody called me out on it. It didn't feel good. I didn't feel good because I thought I was a good person. I was not a good person, right? I was doing what I was told to do by birth and television. All right. Wake up, the USA is not in war with Iran. The USA is not at war with Iran. The USA and Iran are being played against each other, Sinclair. Is that what you're saying? The USA and Russia and China and all Britain, they're all played against each other. They're all just pieces on a chessboard by 13 families that own things that fly these Jetson-like hovercrafts. Because half of me thinks that's who that is. It's just these families flying around, wheeling around in their new Corvette, having fun, trolling their militaries for fun. They put people in conflict and nations in conflict If they put people in conflict for powers, and of course they put nations in conflict for power. So people have to stop with the whole, we need to go fight the terrorists. They make terrorists to scare you to take your rights. That's how that works. They go and they steal people's land, they steal their food, they blow up their neighborhoods. Those people get pissed off. They hate you. They do things against you or the country that did that to them. And they say, oh, we need your rights. We got to build a police state. We got to keep you safe, you know, because you're willing to give up your rights if you're scared of those people. Now you hate Muslims and you don't seem to understand that you're just being played. You don't know that the Muslims are a part of your brotherhood as Christianity, that they're just Abrahamic religions, that you all serve the same God anyway. You hate them because television made you hate them. You hate them because you're a game piece on a game board and you're being played. Stop being played. That's what, yeah, if that's what you're saying, Sinclair, 100% agree. America is not at war with Iran. It's never gonna be. You got group of dummy A and group of dummy 2. Well, you got dummies A's, big dummy A and little dummy 2, the two governments, and they're never going to fight because the Iranian government, they're not going to get in a boat and do that against the American government. And the American politicians, ain't no congressman getting in no ship to go over there and do nothing. But the dummies, us, right? The brothers and sisters, the Iranians and the Americans and the Russians, the actual people, we're the ones that got to kill each other or our children. That's why I'm all for the draft dodging. I'm all for it because you're not dodging an American draft. If they do the draft. I don't know if they're even talking about the draft. I saw somebody post on it. I have not watched the news, so I don't know. If they do the draft, you should dodge it because it's not for America. It's not for the Constitution. It has nothing to do with the Bill of Rights. It has nothing to do with the flag. That's for Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and the people, the deep state that own this. So we got to start being honest about the draft dodge. You're not dodging an American draft. You're dodging the draft of the United States All Capital Incorporation, which is not the federal government. We lost our federal government back in, was 1933 or whenever. I think we've become too comfortable with slavery. Yes, Trish, we have. That is why there's so much opposition when we try to wake up people. They don't want to wake up. They are happy in their slavery slumber. And that's all true, all facts, all real facts. We are happy slaves. They've made slavery so delicious and fun for everybody. The carts are nicer. The mules, they have air conditioning and they can go 120 miles an hour. The shacks are wall-to-wall carpeted, and that's real talk. They made slavery real nice, and as long as it's not our children that has buildings dropped on them, we're okay with that. And to me, that's psychopathy. That's a mental illness. It's a mental illness to be okay with somebody else's children being murdered because it's not yours, because you don't know them. You can't be upset about Epstein Island and okay with war. Can't be. Doesn't work that way. Not in the mind of a conscious person. Good morning, Dawn. Let me see. Might end up a shrimp cocktail for the UFO. Well, Lori, I do think there are some aliens that will eat us. And that's why the alien topic is very important. Very important. The alien people are right. They're right about a few things. If some of these UFOs got aliens in them and the aliens are hungry, we might want to think about that for a minute. We might, as a world, as a human race, stop back and say, well, what if the aliens that come here were the vegetarians? What if we haven't met the majority of aliens in the galaxy? That is a thought. That is a thought, because you might wake up, Lori, one day and you're like on a plate with some garnish. You want a whole bunch of humans on a plate with some trees and herbs and bushes. Look, we got a plate from America, from Earth. An important topic. And who said that? Lori, who was the president? Reagan. And he's to the UN, where he said, I often think that if we were faced with an alien threat, that the whole world would come together. And I think that's part of why they didn't talk about the UFOs. I think when most of the UFOs were aliens, they didn't talk about them because they didn't want the world united, right? They're in their own little, gotta get my retirement and get these war things happening and lying to people and political party politics, nonsense and bull. But I think now, it's a new video. Who's that? Sister, what's her name? Emmy. I get all these pop-ups all day long. But now, when most of the UFOs are theirs, now they want to talk about it. See, and this is what the people who talk about the Blue Beam stuff, Project Blue Beam, talk about, which is, why are they talking about UFOs now? And it's a very valid question. Very valid question. Why are they talking about it now? Well, because there's some capitalism to be gained from it. There's a reason. And I'm not going to tell you I know what the reason is. I will say that it's obvious they went from not talking about it They're talking about it. It went from saying it was swamp gas and cow farts and clouds and ball lightning and all the other stuff that the people who saw this stuff were like, no, that's not what it was. That's not what it was. The people who worked on these doors, that's not what it was. And now they're showing people, and I think that there's a reason that they want to use it. Hillary will be another candidate for 2020. Christine, I believe that because people will vote for her. That's why. I know, because if you got psychopaths okay with war criminal A, they're going to be okay with war criminal B. So I absolutely believe that. Oh, but you said yes, Beaufort. Beaufort is over there. See, look at that. He got thrown off his back. Trump just proved that it doesn't matter who's in office. Thank you. Did you hear what he said? Did y'all hear what Beaufort just said? Trump just proved it does not matter who's in office. Okay? It does not matter. You don't control your country. Now, for some of us, he didn't prove that day one because we already knew. We already knew. We was trying to tell y'all. We trying to let him know. But Beaufort's clarifying. This is obvious. Now he's doing what the deep state wanted to do decades ago. It's obvious that he is not fighting the deep state. You can't fight the deep state. That's why they're called the deep state. Can't fight them. You can't fight them. They just want you stupid like the, I don't say the Obama. That's just because people get upset, but not ignorant. Gotta find a nicer word. I don't want to piss people off. Not as enlightened, right? It does not matter who the president is. And people are getting sick of me, Beaufort, so they're gonna start reporting me, throw me off of here again. I got cussed out the other day. I know what she's saying. I think that people, they want you to go along with them in their own little fantasy world, and I don't believe in that. I disagree with everybody. Somebody else decided to attack me on the whole, listen, right, pedophilia war, they go together. Birds of a feather, they flock together. If it's abusing children, they flock together. And she didn't like that. So we need to get on the streets. And I said, no, we don't. We don't need to get no damn streets. I ain't going to no street. I'm going to sit here right online with my friends and we going to laugh and drink coffee and talk jokes and aliens and UFOs because I ain't going out in no streets, and I posted the signs as to why. Don't make me go to the post. Do you look at what people write on these signs? Now's the time for education. Now's the time. I organized my last protest 15 years ago, not going back. You know why? Because we used to get out there in the street yelling and screaming, make our signs and uniforms and costumes. We put a whole lot of energy into doing these protests, and people just drive by and honk their horns because they're glad that you're out there. Yeah! Do it! Yeah! Fight it, brother! Yeah! Good! Do it! And they have no idea why you're even out there. They don't even care. You know, now's not a time to protest or get in no damn streets. I ain't going in no street, because if I get out in the street, whoever is the most prominent, ignorant fool in the street, that's who I'm going to be protesting with. They're going to either be out there yelling and screaming for Hillary or for Trump. And I'm not interested in that. I like root cause stuff. If I'm going to dedicate that energy and get me a clown costume and some Sharpies and some signs and stuff, I got to get somebody to help me with my grammar. That's number one. I got to get somebody to help me with my spelling and my grammar, because y'all see my post. And the people must love me. I got a lot of hate, but there's a lot of people love me because they look at my post and they don't even say nothing no more. I look at my post and I'm like, damn, I posted that? Like, that's barely legible. I don't even think that's English. I don't know what the hell. That's like hieroglyphics. And my friends don't say anything. They'll read through it and they'll fight through it. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. They'll read through the hieroglyphics, trying to make, I know what he's trying to say. I get it. I get what he's trying to say. And they'll put a like and share it anyway. That's a whole lot of energy to go out and get in the street with people who don't know what's going on. Right now is education. And right now, that's what it is. And I'm not convinced I even know what's going on. I'm not convinced. We were going back and forth with the sister. We were having a great discussion. She was like, yeah, Trump is gonna, the general is with some gangsters and criminals or something like that. And I said, sister, that's not what's happening. You know that Wesley Clark said this a long time ago. These wars have nothing to do with Trump at all. And that's all the media talks about, because they want to get people in the Trump fight. And I think that's stupid. And she agreed. And that's a good thing. This is why I love certain people. And I forgot her name. I love people who can admit. She was like, yeah, I admit, I don't know what's going on. And guess what I did? I had to admit it too. I was like, yeah, damn it, you're right. I don't know what's going on. I was like, I'm upset about some things. I know that ain't the root cause, but I don't really know what's going on. How would I? If I knew what was going on, I'd be dead right now. I'd be 6 feet under with JFK and Jimmy Hoffa and the rest of them, Martin Luther King, and everybody else didn't figure something important out. I don't know what's going on, but I know what's in the news is not true. And so when what's in the news ain't true and most people believe what's in the news, you don't go on no damn street. You're going to get killed. They're going to kill you and they're going to eat you like aliens and put you on a plate, shrimp, and chew you up. And I'm just not interested in being, because you know what? Because you go out getting them protests and people got the signs. If the sign conflicts with the person that's close to the sign, that's who's going to be on the front page of the paper. And I know that. I'll be in front of a sign and it's going to somebody behind me and I didn't read the sign. It's going to say something I don't agree with. And I'm not interested in that. It's going to say something like Black Lives Matter. And you see my face right there like, yeah, oh, Gerard, he joined Black Lives Matter now, huh? Like, no, I didn't. No, I'm not. All lives matter. I appreciate Black Lives Matter, but they escaped. Yemen Lives Matter too. They forgot a few people. They're good people and got some passion in their heart. The leadership is morons, but no, because then I'd be in front of the sign behind me say something like gay rights. And I love my gay people, don't get me wrong. LGBTQ solidarity, brothers and sisters, solidarity. But they're looking at me and it's like, no, oh, that's why he didn't have no girlfriend. That's why he stopped having kids. No, I got 3 kids and I got a problem. I'm a man and I like that. But I stand with him. And the sign that say something else, it'd be like, because it'd be the one brother for the Trump people in my area, like black people for Trump. And I'd be right like, oh, Gerard done sold out. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think time is to get in the streets. Not right. No, not now. Time is to educate. The one thing I learned from protesting, you protesters, and I love your passion, by the way. Love your passion. I'm not like I said, like with Greta. I love young people and their passion. I don't agree with your points, and I don't damn sure agree with some of them signs, but I love your passion. You just got to direct your passion into research and find out what's really going on. What I learned from protesting is that if you're going to do it, you have to make sure everybody in the group agrees with what y'all are protesting against. Number one, you need to have a meeting. You got to get some cookies and some donuts. And at nighttime, I guess you're gonna make some chicken or whatever it takes to get the people out. Have a meeting and say, here's the problem. We done the research. We're not fighting a side effect. Here's the problem. And we've beaten it down to the deepest root, the problem that we can find. And this is what we're protesting. We don't like a system based in authority and capital. If you will, we're not fighting for Black Lives to Matter. We don't like the idea of a system that's based in capital, because whoever has the least capital is on the bottom of the system. And those are the people that the corporations will buy laws to abuse. And eventually it look like it's racism when we know it's social economicism. Because when the immigrants come in the country, they're gonna be on the bottom too. That's step one. What is the problem? Beat the problem down to the root. 2, okay, so now we agree on the problem. We're not out here to fight a side effect. We're not the pharmaceutical industry. What do we want to do about it? We need to have a very clearly define what the problem is and what the hell we want. Otherwise, you're wasting your time in the street. Nobody cares. I will honk at you. Who is that? David? If David Crowell was out there and I was driving, I see David out there with some signs I can't read because my eyes are blurred, David. I can't see nothing. I shouldn't even be behind the motor vehicles. I'm out there driving. I go places that I know. And I'm out there driving and I see David and the crew. Who was that? Ron and Dale and Trish and Lori and the rest of them out there. And I see y'all out there with some signs and y'all got the passion. I'm going to do what I like. I love Greta. I appreciate Greta and her passion. I'm going to appreciate y'all and your passion. I'm going to be hitting the horn and stuff. Yeah! Brothers, get them, brothers. Yeah! Get them. Yeah! Get them. I don't even know who them is and I don't really care who them is. I just love people with passion. But nothing's going to happen, right? Unless it's very definitive. You come up with the saying at the meeting when everybody's eating their chicken and the bagels, you gotta have coffee too, because people can go to sleep late at night. People got slavery and they ain't gonna make it by 5, 6, about 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. on is when you have that meeting. Get some coffee and start agreeing on what the sign should say. You need to have a message, you need to have a clear problem and clearly what you want to happen, or you're wasting your time. So that's why I'm not about getting in the street. I'm about education. I need to learn, and y'all need to learn. That's how I get that. I need to learn, and y'all need to learn. I made a post the other day. People, what did she say when she was cussing me out? She said, "You're full of yourself. You're all into yourself." I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, if you think so. Half the time, I just want to get people talking so I can learn. And I made this post. I said, go out and learn something that's unpopular that most people don't know about. Go out and learn about it. And then come back and teach us. Come back and post on it, right? Go out and learn something that's not being talked about in the news, that's not popular, learn, research it, and then come back and tell us about it. That's what social media is for. If you're just here sharing what ABC and CSNBC and Fox News and all the rest of it, you're not adding nothing to the conversation. You're just repeating what's already been said. You're just regurgitating a billionaire's project and some news that they bought and put on the news. It's a waste of everybody's time. Go find something different that nobody's looking into and post about it. That's what we need to do. And so that's what I post about. I don't post about anything that I haven't been told about by somebody who was in war, automation, UFOs. I knew about the Hubble. I posted about it. My father was at the Pentagon. He was a satellite engineer. I already knew that. So I already knew we could see highly detailed things, and they line about all the probes they send up. They don't send up $500 million probes to show you blurry pictures. Actually, not take that back. They do send up $500 million probes to send you blurry Polaroid pictures. But they got the clear pictures. They know what's on the moon, the Mars. They know the rock, the size and nickels. They know all the structure. They know everything that's up there. They're just not sharing with you. I knew about that. I post about those things. But go learn those things and come back. But if you're going to do a protest, I'm going to get in the street. It has to be because we have a very clearly defined thing. And for me, it goes back to free energy. We got UFOs flying around, and all the struggles in most nations are about energy and jobs and money. That's all energy. And if the energy is free, then you're wasting your time fighting a side effect, right? Make it about a root cause, and I'll be in the street. Until then, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to chill and I'm going to laugh, and I'm just going to wait till the end of the apocalypse, till the zombies start walking, because I don't like to waste my time. I'm here, and if we're going to fix the world, we need to fix the world. I don't believe in fixing America. America doesn't even exist, y'all. It doesn't exist. You literally stole land from other people. That's what we did. And we're apathetic about it. Just cheering the flag is criminal to me. So no, we need to fix the world. We got the resources to help save everybody. Why don't we save everybody? And that's my spit with the whole Black Lives Matter people. I love their passion, but why are you just trying to save one person? Why are you just, what's that about? Like what? It's the same thing with the issues I'm having with my Trump friends at the moment. Not Trump friends, the ones that aren't actually in it for ego. There's some that are in it because they care, and there are others that are there for ego. Which is, well, why are you just trying to save some people? Well, we got to save America. One of my Trump friends said, well, you want your government to be strong to protect you. And I was like, sister, you believe that? I was like, wait, just pause for a minute. Just pause and just chew that up for a minute. Your government's going to protect you. The people that poisoned your food and your water, the people that poison your air and your land, the people that subsidize the growing of glyphosate carcinogen and spraying it on all the crops all over that end up in your grocery store and your processed food. The people don't give two damns about you. The people that's taking every right from your Bill of Rights. The people don't never follow the Constitution. Those people, them same people, they gonna protect you. Oh yeah. We got people, oh my, I got autism. How many kids got autism? Are they doing any research in that? Do they even care? Alzheimer's? Cancer? How many times has cancer been cured and the American government then covered it up? These people won't protect you. You want them to have the weapons and some Space Force and some lasers and automated robots. This is good. They're gonna protect me. These are all real. I was like, oh Lord, this is why I drink coffee and I just sit back in the morning just like that. Sister, you watch too much TV. I love you to death. I love everybody to death. You watch too much TV. All right. Did G just say Pentagon? No, I didn't say Pentagon. I said Pentagon, but Deborah, you said it right. It actually is a Pentagon. It's a con game. It's a con game. And I realize most of the people in the Pentagon are being conned, right? Most of the people don't know because all of this stuff is decompartmentalized. They only know their little bit. They're going out there to help and they don't understand that they're hurting. It's like the pharmaceutical industry, Deborah. You know, people say, well, why are you so into organics and you worked in the pharmaceutical industry? I said, it's the same industry, same thing. You know, people in the pharmaceutical industry are just trying to help in a different way. They're still trying to help. They're trying to help in a different way. And I think there's a place for synthetic drugs in the human repair kit. I just don't think it's everywhere. That's why I'm on the organic side. Being woke is being woke is a grammatical catastrophe. Well, Susan, it is for me. It is for me because I got to talk to people now. I used to be a technical writer. I used to care about grammar. I don't care anymore. But it is because I have to communicate with people, Susan, and so it means I got to proofread. And I fight it. Y'all know I was fighting it. I don't like your king and his English. I don't like your king, so of course I damn sure don't like his English. But to communicate with people, I have to get better. And I can admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong yelling at my grand Nazis. I didn't yell at them. I just didn't listen to them. And they're right. They're right. And I tried. Y'all know me. I've tried. I think I've tried. I proofread. I never used to proofread. I do proofread now. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying, y'all. And I appreciate y'all working with me, giving me a minute to get myself together. Spelling is hard to do when you don't care about the language. All right, let me see. The nutsos who say there's no global warming that always happened seem to forget that it may well have been occurred due to similar abuses of war management and natural resources. Sheesh. I agree with you, Miss Tree. I agree. And don't let anybody say he doesn't believe in climate change. Don't ever say that. No, you lying. You're lying. Don't lie on me. I call you out. No, I know the climate's changing. Climate's always been changing. Climate's going to keep changing. And nothing that we did the video on that, remember last week, Miss Tree. I don't like ice. I don't like ice, and I don't like lava. I don't want to be here when that happens. I think our effort should be in get the hell out of here or prepare to live here, but not fight over what's happening or who's doing it. And none of us know actually what's happening or who's doing it because we're not allowed to that classified information. No secrets. Something's happening. I don't know, Miss Treep. Some people say it's warming. Some people say it's cooling. I don't know that I even care. I know it ain't the same. Ain't the same. We need to fight. Ain't the same. Stop fighting climate change and start fighting ain't the same. Ain't the same. Crops don't grow the same. My basil ain't acting right. Got all kind of mold and stuff growing. The tomatoes ain't acting. Ain't the same. We need to fight ain't the same. That's what we need to fight. You know, but the thing is, it's I think, Miss Tree, they give us enough to get us emotionally enough to fight, right? People know things are changing, and other people who don't get outside, they don't think that they're changing. But either way, you're on the other side and they get to fighting. It's like, was it Tony Blair who said, that old UK Prime Minister, democracy is the hardest form of government to run. You know, all the rights are with the people. You got to get them fighting or you don't have any power. Government has to get them fighting or you don't have any power. You got to get the power from the people because the rights is what gives the government power. That's why America was designed to be this little small government that everybody went to on the weekends and nobody wanted to do. It was the American government, literally. I ain't lying. I ain't making this up. The American government was designed like the Department of Education. The American government was designed for people to hate it. Nobody wanted it. Nobody that was small on the weekend, they gave them $2 for showing up when they got on their horses and went to Washington and voted, and then everybody went out, they had to come back home and be poor farmers because they didn't get any money for it. It was designed like school. Everybody hates school. I hated school. I'm gonna tell you, I'd be honest with you, I hated school. There were a few teachers that kept me in school. I'd have ran away. That's why I say to me, you know, if the kids hate the lesson, they don't even like the language. They don't like to show up. They don't want to sit down. You got to drug them with ADHD medication, make them stay in the damn chair. Not write notes to Tanisha, hit her in the back of the head. That's more torture than education. That's not education. That's like U.S. government. You need to make a government like school. People hate and don't want to go to it. Then the government will shrink. And all the power stays with the people, but the government grew because they kept taking power from the people because they got good at dividing the black people with the white people and the Christians and the Muslims and the railroad people against that people, and they won at it. They won at it. That's why the origins of white supremacy has nothing to do with poor white people. Or it had to do with the government wrote a law and said, listen, you're supreme. Because the monkeys was getting together back then. The monkeys, it's the Farmers Alliance. The monkeys didn't care. They were getting together. We're all poor. They're not. The landowners, robber barons, bankers. Let's get together and we're going to take the country back. It's a populist movement. And they said, hell no, you ain't. The government, the people that y'all getting to fight white supremacy. They said, no, we're going to make some white supremacy. But no. Now, mind you, it had different levels and stuff. They said, nope, you're supreme. And you're not. They did that. They wrote laws. And this is how things are designed, to divide people up, to take all their rights. Because they're all slaves. They don't respect none of y'all. But they will order you and put you in certain groups and slots to control you. But that's how it's always worked. They should make the U.S. government needs to go back to being small and everybody hates it. The only reason I kept going to school is because I had a few good teachers. That's it. I had a few good teachers and I appreciate them. If the kids don't want to be there, I don't think they should be. I think you failed. That's what I think. Teachers gonna be mad at me, but I mean, I've said this a few times. I remember my teachers who loved what they taught. Teachers that hated their job, I don't even know their names, can't remember what they looked like, the cars they drove, nor what the classroom looked like. But I can think back to the teachers that loved what they did. Because as a kid, you picked up on that compassion, that passion for whatever it was. Anyway, I'm over here at the no table on YouTube. I know, Beaufont, because you's bad. You's making people laugh over nasty stuff. Facebook, that. I guess they published that standard. I didn't read it, but they posted that you can't sexualize things. Something like that, and I don't even know what that means. I have no idea what that means. We are literally sexual creatures. We're just born with cookies and danglangs. And everything we've done since the beginning of time has been for cookies and dang. Well, everything man does. Women a little smarter. They did other things for other reasons. Things is pretty and stuff like men. That's all we do. I said it all the time, both fine. They just basically banned being a man on Facebook. That's all it is. That's the only reason we take showers and baths and brush our teeth, do some exercises every now and then. It's just for women or guys if you're gay, or women if you're woman. But that's the only reason we do things, because we want something. And they banned that, so y'all can't sexualize your Facebook no more. My last protest in '82 against nuclear power plants. Ooh, that's a good protest, Christine. That's a good protest. And if we can do that again, but we got to have pictures of UFOs. If I'm be on the news, I need to have the Navy UFO behind me. We don't need nuclear energy anymore. So anyway, but that's against one of the Facebook's policies now. So y'all need to behave, because now it's wartime. It's wartime. You don't get to say the truth at wartime. You can say the truth when nobody cares, but right now they are looking for reasons to throw you the hell off of these platforms that are owned by wolves, right? They need to make their money. They don't need the government up their butt, like Beaufont's butt cake. That got him banned. They don't. Oh, did you make that cake? That's just nasty. Oh, that was disgusting. I kind of halfway agree with Facebook on this one, though. I'm gonna be honest with you, Beaufont. I love you, brother. I do, but that was nasty. I got a little sick. He made a cake and it looked like an anus. That you know what? That's too much creativity. I think Facebook was right on this one. I'm sorry. I might have to pull out on this. Don't make cake to look like butt. Cake and butt don't go together. That's just nasty, man. That's nasty. I like cake. I don't like butt. I don't even know people do that. They say it's a young. All right, stop. Pull up, stop, because they're looking for a reason. They're like, ban them for 30 days till we get the war going. Gotcha. I'm a monkey. GPS means hiding. It's hard to do. It does, Lori, and they're working on new GPS. That was one thing Neil was talking about. They're having the military GPS, because GPS doesn't work for satellites and space wars, right? For space wars, you got to have another GPS. So you have monkey GPS, which will be for us, and the government or the military will use it. But for Space Force, they got a whole new GPS that they're coming up with. Good morning, Mags. Let me see. I'm going down. Lifelong learning. Yes, Lori, if you're not learning for a lifetime, you're a fool. Learning never stops. Literally never stops. And I think that's what a lot of the government or the politic philosophy is based in, is you being right. So you're right enough that you'll use a police state and laws and legislation to force other people to do something. And to me, that's ignorance. That's ignorance. I agree with Bob Marley. Every law is illegal. I don't believe every government is criminal. They literally are set up as a criminal operation, murder people and stolen land. I agree with that. So yeah, you want to learn for a lifetime. And I don't think you can really be political and be humble. I don't think it's possible. Because to be political, not when you have a police force as a government, not when you use force, use guns and MRAP tanks and SWAT teams to force people to do things. That means that you're right. You think you're right. If you have a government that's like, does, I guess, rights legislation to socially engineer to try to drive the public peacefully in ways, that's a whole different story. Then maybe, you can guess politics. When you're in politics and you write laws and you cheer for the people who do this, and if other people don't do what you want them to do, they throw them in cages or shoot them and kill them. It's too psychopathic to me. It's too sociopathic, narcissistic, root level problems, right? The government has a police state. It's not a government anymore. It's a rulerment. Damn sure ain't no government. They're not governing. They're forcing people to do what the large group of people wants to do because they think mob rule is a good idea. Good morning, Jennifer. Megs, same people who don't want refugees in their country cheer. What creates them? Asinine. And that's the exact point, Megs. That's the point. I'm glad you put it a different way. And this is why I love people like the people who have the ability to critically think and see hypocrisy. Right? If immigration's a problem to you, this is what she's saying. If immigration's a problem to you, you got to hate war. You got to hate war. The number one reason people migrate to your country is war, toppling their governments. If you hate immigrants, you don't like immigrants in your country, you don't want them around, then your biggest issues with the CIA and war, toppling other governments, because that's why people come to your country. You're not going to stop people from coming to your country with a wall. You stop them by not blowing up their countries. You stop them by not destroying their governments that they set up because your government's scared you might see a freer way of doing things, might look kind of like socialism. That's what she's saying. And that's what I mean. It's about critical thought. Ignoring what's in the news and just using your mind and thinking about things. Finding your own hypocrisies, because I think we're all hypocrites, but we don't see it until somebody like Megs points it out like, oh, damn, that's jacked up. I get it now. I get it. They're not coming here because we got rights and freedoms and, and a pretty flag and a nice anthem and nice green land. They're coming here because we blow up their nations. And people, it's a weird thing. When you colonize a nation, that's where people go. Like when France did their colonization in Africa and Latin America, that's where people went to France. Britain, why do you think Britain's so diverse? Because they destroyed the whole world. And then people like, oh, it's easy to clean on the money. The next generation sell out. The next generation, because they burn all the history. And the next generation grows up seeing the queen on the money. So when they want to go to a better place, they're going to go where that queen is at. That's where the money comes from. And they go to England. And that's why England's so jam-packed. The people who get colonized go there because the next generation always sells out. All the Romans want to go to Roman capital. And when you think you're a Roman, a Babylonian, you're going to go to the capital of Babylon. So if you don't want those people in your country, then you don't blow up their country and they'll stay in their country. Nobody wants to come visit you. Everybody wants to stay at home, especially not where they're welcome. Don't get between me and that chicken sandwich. Know how? Patricia, don't. Because you're a wolf and you want that chicken, right? If we create a nation as a wolf, we create a pentagon that's based in oil, not free energy, then yeah, they're gonna go murder a whole bunch of people. The Pentagon should completely be a defensive organization or defensive department only. What is national defense? I love when people say that. It's like, are you literally ain't, you know what? While you got troops in Iraq and you got a puppet government in Iraq and you're saying that's national defense, that's like somebody with the tallyknacker and somebody else raping them saying, oh, this is my business. That's what it is. It's a violation. If all your soldiers are in your body or in your nation, in your borders, you might be doing some defense. But if anything you got, your soldiers, your sperm, your ding-a-ling, any of that is in somebody else, that's not defense. That's not you minding your own business. That's an offense. It's abuse. It is a crime just having government there. It's not even the Iraqi government. That's the whole thing that gets me. It's not even the Iraqis didn't pick that government. They didn't even want us there. That's the American government in a puppet costume. And when people say go home, what you do? You go home. House guests that just stay too damn long. Like rapists. That's what they are. Ooh, didn't like that. Huh? I ain't get no likes on that one. Because it's true. If you're invading another nation, you don't have a Department of Defense. You are a Department of Rape. Because that's what happens. That's the number one environment rape even comes from, is war. So anyway, there you go. Nah, how you like that? Take your white shirt off, Congress. Your white dresses. I don't care about them. They don't mean anything. Mama is not a whore on crack. Gutted, polluted, and abused. She'll lose her crap and turn her remaining contents inside out. We abusive mankind and the tipping poles, north-south poles. Yeah, well, Mama's about to shake us off, Miss Tree. She done with us. She about to like some nasty fleas on her back. She about to shake us the hell off. FR or free range slaves. That's it, Beaufort. We are free range slaves. Good morning, Brother Trudell, Brother Mark, Rachel, Deborah. You dropping some good truth bombs today. G, thank you, Deborah, because I listen to people and I can be wrong. That's the only reason why. In the remake of V, everybody shows up to the church when the aliens arrive. I saw that, Megs. I saw the remake of V. Y'all remember V stand for Victory? That was the Alien TV show. When the aliens showed up, everybody went to church. I can promise you, Megs, when the aliens show up, I ain't going to church. I ain't going to church because they don't realize that the scripture's been modified. That's why I don't go to church. Yeah, I'm not going to church. If the aliens come, where am I going? I come on here. I come on Facebook. I almost did that once, man. I almost did. I'd have been jacked. I was driving home one day. I just knew I saw the UFO. I knew I saw it. I saw I saw this white light and it shot up in the air and it's doing left, right. I was like, oh my God, it's a UFO. I was about to press the button, go live. I done found one. And sure enough, I went further down the road and there was this guy playing with his drone. Because from a distance at nighttime, it looks like it could be a UFO flying 50 miles here, 5 miles in a matter of seconds. No, I almost got jacked on that one. I'd have been like, UFO, that would have been the title. Nah, I waited on that one. Yeah, I'm not going to church. When I see some aliens or UFO, I'll probably come on here. But I'm going to wait and make sure. I've never seen one. I might be the only person that talks about UFOs. They ain't never seen them. I had never seen, ever. But you know what? Part of it might be the fact that I grew up in a military family. I grew up going to Andrews Air Force Base and the military air shows, and I kind of know what jets are, what they look like, and the blinking lights and stuff. And maybe I can delineate. But other people have seen literal UFOs, I think alien UFOs, not America foes, not Russia foes, but real ones. I've never seen one. Good morning, Wilhelmina. Kim Jackson is in the house. I think it's become unavoidable. Some of the weather manipulation seems to be being used to cloak them, but eventually there will be too many to cover up. And that would make sense, Kim. I think that would make sense. And that was that V? No, that wasn't V. That was the 4th of July where the UFO used the cloud cover. That could make sense. Some real low budget aliens that just barely made it out their solar system might still use clouds to cover their ships. I think most of them are just invisible. I mean, we pretty much have that now. We have the ability to make a craft invisible. We have drones that have LED lights that do that mimic the sky above them. So I think if that's what you're saying, but weather manipulation is definitely a thing. I mean, geoengineering is going to be a positive thing in the future if we survive, right? We go to other planets, we're going to want to if nobody lives there, which I don't think that exists. I think there's probably bacteria at least everywhere, based on what we know, lives in lava and everything else. What is it called? Not geoengineering, terraforming. Like the technology is just technology. The technology is just a tool. It can be used for wonderful, great, phenomenal things like Space Force. Space Force could be used to spot asteroids. We don't have to use to protect the planet. We don't need to use Space Force to learn how to murder people for fossil fuels that are outdated. an ancient technology that's been here for 150 years that we left our governments or those above them have left a long time ago. So those things can be used as positive things, but it's all about if you got a wolf in control or not. If you got a wolf in control with an empty belly, then it's gonna do anything it can to get everything that it wants. I kind of want to watch the news, see what's in the news, but that's my take on the whole war thing. I don't really care. It's like climate change. I really don't care because I know that the war has nothing to do with Trump. And every time I go to the media, it's going to be Trump this or Trump is starting a war, because they're in defense of the Trump people on the other side. They say, well, Trump is starting a war, and I'm like, no, Trump didn't start the war. It's not even his war. And if your people were in office, they do the same thing, because Obama did the same thing, and Bush did the same thing, and Clinton did the same thing. So stop attacking the Trump people. But the Trump people are like, yeah, we're going to go over there and fight the deep state and get the pedophiles. No, you're literally going to create more pedophiles. You're going to create more human trafficking, and you're going to kill a lot of people. So I kind of avoid the news. But that's what they talk about it from that perspective. I don't like to even talk about it from that perspective, because none of the wars have anything to do with the presidents. They have to do with money and power. Real world, not the fake world, not the fantasy world on TV, the real world. Watch Extraordinary Seeding. It's a great documentary about alien abductions and their hybridization program. I'll take a look at it, Megs. That is a good topic. Like, abduction is a thing. Now they got these UFOs they're admitting that are flying around. It basically, they're confirming a lot of what Bob Lazar was saying. They're confirming a lot of things what the ancient texts are saying. They're confirming a lot of the people who say they were abducted. I don't know that I believe all the abduction stories, because people, they like attention. And if it's dramatic, then they like to make stuff up to get attention. And aliens, I think it probably started it. They probably were abducting people, and that was probably true, but the government never addressed it, and people knew that they'd never get called out on it, because even when the people say they were abducted by the U.S. government, they didn't investigate that. So they're not going to investigate aliens, and so you get a lot of phony stuff in there, and it's hard to pick out who's being honest and who's not, who's a whistleblower that's being honest and who's making it up, because the government doesn't investigate anything. But I'll take a look at that. Hybridization, it makes sense. Why would aliens hybridize? Do we? Yes, of course we do. We've been doing that going back, was it Russia, China? America does. They just don't say it because they want you to think that they love Jesus and they're the good guys. They've all been trying to hybridize, making monkey soldiers and stuff. If we do it, then of course the aliens probably do it. I'm sure they grab people. I just don't think that they were all true. But now we need to have that discussion. If something's coming here grabbing people, stop laughing at the alien people. Stop, not the alien people, but the people that believe in the aliens. Stop laughing at them. Start listening to them. Start the people who say they were abducted, because you might want to know what the alien looked like. You might want to know what it smelled like. You might want to know if it hides in bushes, or if it hides in the trees, if it comes at nighttime. You might want to protect your family. And if you don't know nothing about it because you're laughing, then that's a problem. But anyway, I don't want to go down that route. I love alien shows. I think they're mostly fantasy, but I love them. If the aliens come here, it's no fight. It's nothing. It ain't gonna be no fight. Hey, Megs, if something comes here from another dimension, some humans from the future, or another galaxy, a universe, or whatever, it's not gonna be an invasion. They ain't invading. They're gonna boom, they're gonna snap their finger. The Earth is gonna disappear, or all life on it. They won't even see us as human. They'll terraform, like, oh, we need to make a planet based in acidic whatever, and they'll just send the devices down and it'll do whatever it does, which was weird. That got me thinking about it. It was weird this is part of why I listen, because that Navy UFO, the one that won the F-18, the one that's popular now, not the thousands of others, but the one that people, we got one. No, there's been thousands of them. But on that one, he said it was a tic-tac craft. They knew it was coming because the aircraft or the air tower controllers for the Air Force, they knew that these things, there were multiples. They keep coming from 80,000 feet below. And I guess maybe radar starts at 80,000 feet. I don't know. I don't even remember. Comes down to 20,000 feet. And it looks like he said they were going down to the ocean and they were doing something, right? And so if we know they were coming down, going up, coming down, going up, what are they doing at that ocean, right? Who was it? Meg was talking about the V. right? That the whole purpose of that movie, the aliens were coming for the water. You know, very few places in the solar system has liquid water, right? Or large quantities of it. So if their craft are powered by that somehow hydrogen, theoretically it would make sense that if aliens were flying around out there, that they would do something that was powered in hydrogen or H2O, because that's one of the most prolific elements everywhere. And if you're gonna go out and fly everywhere, then you wanna have a fuel that's based in everywhere. So maybe they were coming down, getting fuel, going up to a big UFO, and I don't know. But I think we do need to start having those discussions. Why are they coming here? If that's who that was and not Space Force and the Russians trolling us. I kind of think that one was aliens. I do. I know. I said it was Space Force the other day. I know. I changed my mind. I don't know, because I don't know. I'm not in the deep state program. Because based on, I guess, what they said when I was listening to it this morning, that it was there and they were doing this for weeks. I think if Russians were trolling us, they wouldn't. I don't think the Russians have an interest in water. Don't the Russians like vodka? All right, that's like, I'm getting in trouble now. No. The Russians got water all around their country. I don't think they would send a UFO off the coast of California to get water. I think that's a long way to go. I think it's stupid to have women walk 2 miles a day to get water past rape gangs in Africa, and we got free energy. And I think it's stupid, and I can't see why the Russians would go to California to get water neither. I think that was probably aliens. But why? What do they want? Like, that's more important than anything. Somebody move next door, your neighbors move in. What you wanna know about your neighbor? Like, you know, when neighbors move in, you wanna know who they are. I need to know who you, right? I'm like this, I'm like the old dude. Somebody moves in, like the old lady looking out through the blinds. All right, what kind of car they drive? What it look like they do for a living? They nice, they got kids, are they loud? They got an ATV. Like, you wanna know. You know, you want to know people showing up like they're dealing drugs or something. You might need to put a fence up. You might need to grow some bamboo. They got kids. That's immediate. You need to order some bamboo seeds. You know, you got to get the bamboo growing because they're going to make a lot of noise. See that little baby come out in that store? Like, yeah, I know what I need to do. I need to put a fence up because I don't want to see the birthday party. We got 18 years of birthday parties and yelling and screaming, and at least 4 years of loud parties at night. I need to get the bamboo started now. If the aliens are coming here, we might want to know what they're up to. I think Reagan was right on that. Good morning, Patricia Howard. All right. In a debate about the war with a friend who served in Afghanistan because I criticized government decision to go to war, it somehow was disrespecting the soldiers. I don't want them to go and die, but he loves his brothers so much he wants them to die? ? Then he says some cookies, because I can't say that word, joined for college, me and many others joined to kill. He didn't say protect or defend. His first response was kill. So I said, well, when you're a psychopath who just wanted an excuse to legally kill someone, needless to say, I don't think we're friends anymore. I've known him for 5 years. Well, can't be friends with everybody, Susan. Gosh, my 2 cents on that one. Have I met anyone who said they joined up to kill? Nobody's ever said that to me. That's deep. And I pity your friend. I pity him. And the reason why I pity him is I get where he comes from, right? Like, we are a mental illness making machine. Right? And part of the military training with the boot camp is you want to trigger the warrior genes. You're literally trying to make a psychopath. You're trying to make someone who will follow orders. You're trying to make someone who will revel in the murder of other people. And so I don't know if he was nuts, psychopath, warrior genes were invoked before or after joining military service. But the real story is simply this, is that he was made. That's not him. It's not him talking. He was made that way, either by the military, because we live in a world being starved for fossil or starved for energy, and there's plenty of energy, it's free. And 2, we have to cure people. Right? That's why we really, Susan, we have to continue to have these discussions about the fact that we make people mentally ill. We want them to go away. There are people who are going to want to kill people. And as long as you got a police state, they're going to join the police and they're going to kill people. Because that's what they want to do. You know, their choices are being a legal criminal or be a legal criminal. And most people would choose to go to the military, be a legal criminal, or join the police and be a legal criminal. But the issue is, why are we still making human beings in 2020 that want to murder people? That's the key question. Why are we still doing what the neuroscientists told us to stop? And I don't think you can really talk to anyone like that, Susan. Like, they are where they are. You know, and this is where fighting with him is kind of fighting the side effects. You know, get down to the root level. Why is war still being allowed? Why aren't nations in a defensive posture at all times? Why are nations allowed weapons of offense when they say they are a Department of Defense? Why do police still have lethal weapons when we know we have non-lethal weapons that they all could have? We know that the police aren't the problem. It's policing, right? So if the laws are written to make the police be at war with the people, then it's the politicians we have an issue with in the laws that they write. Same thing probably with the soldier like that, which is, if the politicians are ordering wars over oil and minerals and things that are abundant, then the problem is the politicians. It's not them. Psychopaths will do what they will do because the wolves going to eat. The wolves are going to eat, and we need to stop feeding the wolves children with the police and stop feeding the wolves poor children in other countries with the politicians writing those laws. My first interface with Afghanistan, an Afghanistan soldier, I went and picked him up when he came here. He came back, and he went away one guy, and he came back a different guy. And some of the things that about him gave me some of my thoughts on war, coming from a military family. One of the things that bothered me most is he just didn't like to talk about it. That was it. You know, the things that he saw, the things that I guess he did or had to do, he doesn't want to talk about. And I won't go into details because unfortunately too many people probably already know what I'm talking about. And we need to stop creating a world where children are starved into violence or wanting violence, or put in violent situations to where they can't talk about it, or they don't want to talk about it. This is why it comes back on us. You know, so your friend from Afghanistan, your friend in the military, mostly he was my creation. My perspective. I think everybody's perfect but me. I'm the only one I got to work on. And I used to vote for this stuff. I used to cheer. I used to be a little psychopath believer. And I used to go along with it. And I don't do that anymore. I realize that I've done enough harm. I don't need to do anymore. I've done enough harm backing people who are told to do harm. In Afghanistan, it's just about the minerals, right? That's about lithium. Might be about oil. Might a little domination. Small electronics, opium, right? That's what that's all about. And we have soldiers over there guarding opium fields. Good morning, brother Kevin. All open-hearted truth seekers. Open-hearted Kevin is a thing. People need to open their hearts, open their minds and their hearts. Completely agree with that. School children walk out of class and protest. I did that once. When the authority figure, the teacher tells them to protest. Oh, well, yeah, they do that too, Rebecca. No, and I'm saying, no, we did a protest at school, and the teacher didn't. In fact, the teacher said stay in class. The teacher says stay in class, but we didn't mean it. But come to think of it, Rebecca, wait a minute. Hold on. No, you might be right. Damn it. I was a kid. I was in high school, but now you think, because what we were protesting, I think it was teacher salaries or something. I forgot what we were protesting. But we all got together and we went out and we walked out because the teachers were going to walk out because of salaries or something. But come to think of it, I don't know how that got started at the grassroots, Rebecca. Now you got me thinking, maybe it wasn't us. Why did we care what the teachers made? There were teachers that we liked, but most of them were boring. But you know what? I would have protested for the teachers I liked. I would have. So I don't know. Maybe at the grassroots they didn't start that. I don't know. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning. Oh, Bofon is on Facebook. He just can't say anything on Facebook. I was recently called an American-hating wench by a Trump supporter It was both funny and sad. And at Ivana, you got the right personality for it too. You got, because Ivana, she don't care. Ivana, she don't care. She don't even care. She's like, okay, I am. Yeah, I don't care. she is a thug. Like, she's hardcore with what she thinks. But, you know, I pity people like that, right? People cuss me out. They say, okay, well, I feel sorry for you. I try to tell you the truth, and you don't want the truth, and now you make a personal attack at me. And that's okay, because to me, you know what? I think when someone attacks you personally for presenting them with a fact, it shows you who they are. But also it means that you actually got to them. And that's more important than anything else. So I just let it roll off. You just let it roll off and you keep moving. But it's a good thing, because apparently you said something that stuck, right? They said something because they tried to get an emotional response out of you and they attacked you personally. It means that you were effective. That's all we gotta be. All we gotta be is effective. Like I said, I think it's psychopathic to debate people. I think that that's narcissistic or sociopath to try to make other people believe what you believe. You just present facts. And if they don't have any facts to back it up and you actually said something that made sense to them, they'll call you a wench. They'll personally attack you, and that your job is done. You wipe the sand from your feet like that scripture says, and you keep walking, you go find the next person. Get called a wench. I'm sorry, wench is kind of funny to me. That's like a whole European thing. Let me see. That's why you got because you got to get under people's skin, but you try to get under their skin with data, factual information, so they can go away and think about it. And like the next time you meet him, Ivan, he might not call you a wench. He's not gonna call you next time. Yeah, he probably is, but it might take some time. Give him some time. Let it sink in. All you're doing is planting seeds. That's what I posted the other day. I posted a picture of seeds, and they thought they were rocks. This is how I know the world is going to end, because I post pictures of seeds, and they think they're rocks. I'm already planting my seeds. I'm getting ready to go. But this is all we do. We're planting seeds. We're preparing, putting the seeds in the ground. And you put a seed in his head, and that's important. Being in present tense, woke is past tense. Being woke is, it just went off. All right. The poor whites and poor blacks banded together. Then they pitted them against each other. Right, yeah, the Farmers Alliance and others, and made the whites managers of the plantations. Exactly, Kim, and the whites didn't do that. And that's my point. You get it, but a lot of people, it escapes them. They just see their current and present world. They don't see historically. Which is why I'm not against people who are currently in these fuggles. But the thing is, they lack that history component. When you give them history, then it makes sense. Why would you go to a government that has a model of pitting you against other people because you were pitted against other people? It doesn't make any sense. Like, logically, it's a ridiculous argument. It's a ridiculous thing to do. You got an issue with people, you go to those people. But that was the setup, absolutely. System constantly repeats in a 10 to 20 year cycle. Every 20 years, there's a war, an economic collapse. If you're intelligent and over 40, you will outgrow this culture. Terrence McKenna. I believe so, Susan, but the government saw that coming, and that's why they created Alzheimer's. Well, they didn't create, I don't know if they created it. I guess I'm pushing it. They're just not doing nothing about it. All right, they're letting the pharmaceutical companies create prevention, so you can be on a lifetime worth of drugs, but they're not trying to heal it, not trying to cure it, because the problem is people actually start to grow up when they get older. They start to focus on valuable things. Energy plus bioweapons. They will target people in the street for all we know. Even being aware of them could make us a target. I wonder about people who don't vote for a party. Wow, that's a lot. Hang on, Deborah. I worry about people that don't vote for a party. I had to press the more button and it blew up, and I'm just gonna address because that's too much, Deborah. It's just that I have to read that one later. But do they have the weapons? Of course, they have monstrously, murderously nasty weapons. Will they use us as a target? Well, according to my friend, no, because our government's here to protect us. They're here to give us cancer, then keep us alive and protect us. I wonder about people who don't vote for a party, if we're targets. Well, Deborah, it's okay. It's okay. Are you supposed to be a target by people who murder children? Yes, you are. That we are. We are. If you're not a target, then you're helping them and they're okay with you. You should be a target. I'm okay with being a target. I got a friend in Homeland Security says that we're all targets. And what did he say? He said, everybody's on a list. Just make sure you're on the right list. And the people in Homeland Security, they're on some of the worst lists. Those are the ones who have no privacy. The CIA, Pentagon, these people, I mean, the FBI, they are being watched very closely. And they know that. Which is why I think that our hope is basically based in the fact that humans make up all these systems and the systems are turning against them. And that's why I think you have a whistleblower apocalypse of people coming out everywhere. But you got to get on the list. You got to get on the list. Y'all pick your list. Go ahead and pick it. I'm on the fighting pedophile list. I'm on the fighting war list. I'm on the release the information about the UFO and alien list. I'm on the use the food to grow food for everybody so they won't be in conflict with each other list. You got to get on the list. When psychopaths rule your land, you got to get on the list. You got to piss them off. You got to do something to kind of tweak them. You got to be a bird in the saddle somewhere. That's a good thing. Don't worry about it. We don't actually ever die. We're energy. We just transfer to something else and then we come back. That's what you got to be on a list. That's how we fix things. Is people the list got to get big. That's what it is, Deborah. The list has to get too big where they can't deal with it. Like that, when the list gets too big, all right, we can't do this no more. This is ridiculous. We got everybody on the damn list, and some people on 8 lists. We got to stop having lists. You know what? We're gonna stop taking names for the teacher, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. That's the government. We got to get them to a point where the list is too damn big. We done ran out of chalk. We done ran out of chalk. We need to change things. Porno promoted the big anal sex thing. Ooh, did it, Lori? I did. Yeah, probably did. I don't know. Did it? I don't know. I don't know the history of porno. I damn sure know the history of anal. I don't know. I just know that both aunt made an anal cake. I guess that could make some sense. I mean, I kind of would think that animals, was it beastie? I think that probably, I don't think we can talk about this. It's one, it's kind of early, and two, Facebook, they said, no. I can't do that. I think it just came from, people and horses. Guys get lonely out on the trail. You're out on the trail and you're lonely. You got your horse and your sheep. Doing the cowboy thing. And you're going to be out there for about 3-4 months and you left your wife at home. This might be where STDs came from, actually. Guys get lonely. And maybe the horse get lonely too. I don't know. I wasn't there back then, and I thank the high heavens and aliens that I was not alive at that time. Thank God. Oh, can you imagine the women? Oh. All right. I just had a vision. Out there on the trail, they come home dusty, rusty, and busty. And hey, baby, been on the trail. Yeah, like Jason. No, I'm good for the moment. And the horse is like, all right, that's not funny. I think that's where it came from, though, because who would think of that? I don't. Maybe it's just my head. I don't say that get me in trouble. That's not the first part of the body I think of. That's the part of the body it's like a dog, right? You meet a dog, the first, I want to see the cute little, look at the cute dog, you play with him, you get in his face, he lick your face and everything, everything's fun. You don't take the rear of the dog like, look at the dog booty, the dog, you start petting all around the anus and stuff, wagging his tail. Oh, no, you don't do that, you avoid that part. People who come over and they bring their dogs, you're going to leave the dog outside. You're going to leave it there because you know what the dog they do with them butts, man. They take them and they rub them, they go on the carpet and they do that thing and they're like using your carpet as toilet paper. No. Ooh. I don't know. I don't think it can. Yeah, I don't know. What do I know? It's not the first thing that comes to my mind. I wasn't a cowboy and usually bad things come out of those things. So I don't know where it came from. In general, children that like going to school have a very hostile environment at home. Children that like going to school. Oh, that's deep, Rebecca. I never even thought about that. That's a good point. If you hate home, if it's abusive and aggressive and people yelling and screaming, mom and dad got jobs, 2-3 jobs, and currency conflicts, and most divorces come from the fact that we got slavery and a false economy that makes people go to work and leave things that they love. Yeah, then the kids would like to go to school to get away from their parents. I agree. We can fix that too. Get the teachers to be more entertaining, the ones that are passionate about teaching. By just making everything flat. I think you get rid of money, get rid of salaries, throw all that crap out the window. That was a horrible idea among horrible ideas. And then people who want to be teachers that love children, that are passionate about the thing and want to teach it, they'll go do it. The engineers, oh man, imagine what engineering will happen if the people who love engineering will just go do engineering. The people who love being doctors or healing, they'll just go heal. You free everybody with just getting rid of currency. Then people go into the things that they're passionate about, and everything significantly takes a jump. You know, where doctors can go be a doctor and not a chemist, right? They want to use some synthetic drugs, but then they want to try out natural medicine too. Then you get better doctors. They want to question the system. But when you force doctors to be chemists, you had an AMA that requires that they use Rockefeller's pharmaceutical drug industry drugs, then we hold back technology thousands of years. But that's how you fix school too. And then kids are happy being at home because parents want to be home. They have kids, they want to actually have the kids. They live in a house they want to live in. They're nice to their kids. Their kids grow up nice. All right, 80s TV. Oh, I love 80s TV, Jonathan. I'm stuck in the 80s, music-wise too. You can tell by how I dress. Somebody told me that. Jonathan, a woman told me that once. I think I went on a date or something. I met her and she was like, yeah, you like the 80s, don't you? It's like, I like the 80s. What is it? What you trying to say about my shoes and my socks and my pants and my matching skills and my fashion? I'm not tired, but I like the 80s. I don't wear, I wear holy jeans sometimes because I'm a gardener. That's what I do. Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Dawn. All right, I'm getting down. We got to do some last comments. I gotta get out of here. I figured it was the government hiding from the population. Okay, Kim. I'm not sure what that attaches to. If we were working on a teleportation, advanced aliens already mastered it. They don't need ships. I agree with you, Sue. In fact, not only that, this is why I think when aliens come here, if they have technology, they're like low budget, low advanced aliens who are just beyond us. They're the dangerous ones. That's my thing. Because when you master, astral projection? What's that called? Astral projection? And you master the ability to teleport and all that stuff and stargates, why in the hell would you need a ship? The ones with the aliens that come here, if you see a ship, you need to be worried. That's how my mind kind of works. If I see a ship, I know you just beyond us, monkeys eating each other for bananas and dirty oil wars and stuff. You only probably about 20,000 years in front of us or something. That we need to be scared. This is what she was talking about in terms of us being shrimp on a plate. They're not evolved. The evolved ones are the ones that appear like Jesus and burning bushes. Those are the evolved ones because they didn't snap a finger and you appear and they're like, oh, you start to worship them. The ones that come here in ships, I think we need to be a little concerned with these, Susan. That's what I think. I think we need to be a little concerned with aliens that are just in front of us in evolution and we're still raping horses and monkeys and stuff. Good morning, Cindy. Let me see. Clones would make perfect soldiers. Oh, yes, they would. Seems the laws on cloning have gotten lax. Yeah, and Mags, and this is the beautiful thing about not having secrets in government and not having secrets in corporation. Like, no matter what everybody's concern is, it gets addressed when they don't have any secrets. When they don't have any secrets, when politicians have the body cameras and they don't have any secrets, all their emails in the public domain, everything they talk about, everybody they call, who deal they do. There is no Freedom of Information Act because all the information is public domain. They're not allowed to have any secrets. Then no matter what the concerns are, go away. The only thing that would be better than a clone soldier would be a robot soldier, and we know they're working on them. Good morning, Dale. Good morning, Emma. All right, let me get down to comments. I gotta get out of here. Protesting is in very large numbers is rarely televised. Exactly. But probably makes the cabal aware that they have a problem with their current narrative and script, how they address. Okay, it's way too much. I gotta go into Deborah. Deborah, you're kind of typey this morning, ain't you? You a little typey. Like typey. I can't read all that. Right. If you have a large effective protest, you're all going to jail. That's you got to take everybody because we learned that from Occupy. And if it really is large and effective, it's not going to be on TV anyway because the billionaires own the TV. If you're actually getting at the source of the problem, it's just going to get banned and blocked. This is why you go. You got to take everybody. That's why I think it's not a solution until everybody agrees. Until everybody agrees, it's talk. To me, it's nonsense. You need to sense more. You need to talk to more people. When everybody agrees, everybody will show up. And when everybody show up, it's the right thing. That's what I think the right thing is. Not the right thing for the ecosystem or the planet or the monkeys and the bees, but if it's right for 7 billion human beings, and what do 7 billion human beings want? There are a couple simple things. The ones that don't have the warrior genes going. People like food, like water. They don't mind the robots bringing them water. They don't mind the robots growing their food. They don't mind having a little land. They don't mind being left alone, having their own rights. They don't mind not working, because you're gonna have to work anyway. There is no utopia. People say, you talking about utopia. No, it's not utopia. You're gonna have to work. I just disagree with billionaires telling you what your work should be. You're gonna have your own work anyway. Maintaining your house and your yard, just being married, that's work alone. Raising kids, that's work. But you'll have your passions. Whatever your passions are, you'll do them. That's the world we gotta build. By eliminating cash, they will control us totally. Maybe next time you won't even be able to buy food, even if hungry, if you aren't having, or if you aren't behaving. We can't let that happen. No, Megs, we can't. Which is why I say we have to make money obsolete. Money's gonna go obsolete. Like, it doesn't really matter what we want, right? The American currency is collapsing. It's falling. Like the inflation is going through the roof, and it's gonna go through the roof, right? Soon, only billionaires will be buying and selling, and millionaires, not us. Why? Because 1, robots, they don't ask for salary, and 2, they don't pay any taxes, and they don't buy anything. So those things alone means that every economic system doesn't work anyway. So when money becomes obsolete, because before it goes away for them, if they make it go away, it's going to be obsolete for us, because everything's going to be priced way outside of our ability to buy anything. Because the billionaires can be competing, because they'll have thousands of robots creating the production. They'll have massive profits. And that's the way to get the most slaves and the best slaves anyways, make sure everything is controlled. They need everything and they don't have the money to buy it. They'll do anything you want. And that's what everything is about, power and control. It's never about Democrats and Republicans. It's just about power and money. And it's like a runaway train. They're going to get all the power they can and get all the money they can. What happens to you is not even in the discussion. That's why we have to make these decisions as a group, as a human race. But there are a lot of basic things we all agree on. We don't want to get killed. We don't want our kids to get killed. We don't want them to be kidnapped by kidnappers and poor people or government and foster care. Everybody agrees on some real simple basic things. And to me, if you have any laws, it's what everybody agrees on. You can't have laws that the vast majority of the population don't agree with, and so you have a mass incarceration. And that's possible to do. We just don't do it. I didn't watch the news at all. I wanted to watch the news today. All right, here we go. Good morning, Amy. Let me see. Last school walkout was for gun control. Oh, Lord, Jeannie. Did y'all walk out for gun control? Y'all did that? Or the last school, not yours. I think it's funny, like kids walking out of school for gun control in the #1 nation that traffics all the guns. That's a special thing. The nation that's like chomping at the bit. The nation that just murdered somebody else's general. You don't have to walk out of school for gun control, because they don't care. They don't care. You might be scared of guns. They ain't scared of guns. They literally make a retirement on guns, on tanks, and bombs and nukes. School stunts, creative thinking. Yes, Jeannie, when you got creative teachers, beautiful things. And this is what we were saying, is if we get rid of that money thing, and then the teachers who want to teach good into teaching, then it's no longer torture. It becomes real education. It becomes fascinating to kids, and you get teachers that love their job. They get up in the morning, can't wait to go to work, can't wait to get in front of the kids. Not that teacher that gets up with the Prozac and the Xanax. Oh Lord, I gotta get in front of them damn kids. They get up, they start popping the pills. I don't want to go in there, little bastards. And they talk back and they did whatever. They should be anywhere near kids. They need to go be an engineer somewhere in front of a computer. Leave our kids alone. Completely agree. And Jeannie, you one of them. You always got kids all on your profile making crafts and things and creativity. That's what needs to drive education, because when you're excited about it, the kids get excited about it. It tweaks all that creativities and you make Nikola Teslas. Not what's his name? David Kevorkians and Epstein's. In Germany it was a serving girl. Oh, okay, that's what a wench is, Trish. Okay, all right, that's okay. Then it's okay that Ivana could be a wench. Then she's serving girl. I think the question is what you serve. Isn't that the question? I think they call it. I don't think they were calling her a beverage wench. I don't think she was the bagel wench. I don't think that's what he meant. I hope that's what he meant, but I don't think that's what he meant. I think he meant. I think he meant the wench that was bringing more than just haggis and blood pudding. All right, I gotta go. Gonorrhea came from sheep. Did it, Rebecca? I didn't know that, but I believe that. This makes my theory right. Yeah, people get, hey, the shepherd, because you got to walk a sheep a long way. Rebecca, the sheep is like the cowboy. You get out there on them fields. And that sheep just to get to walk in, and I don't know, when you start seeing things in the hills and stuff, you out there walking, you walk a long way, you get tired, and you just keep seeing these sheep booties just moving around. They all furry and stuff. You thinking about your wife, that sheep booty, oh, they just ain't nobody looking at the distance, look over the next horizon, the hills over there, ain't nobody watching. Sheep, because the sheep, do they act like cats? Because cats, oh man, I don't get on with cats. Cat women, they do them things. I done had in my house a cat that was, what is it, ovulating or whatever they do with the juices coming out, and yeah, I can get into it. They wipe it on the walls and stuff. I was keeping this lady cat, and the cat was into the time. It was heat, whatever you call it. He had that cat just walking up to my sofa, rubbing his butt and stuff all on the sofa and the walls and stuff. My roommate and I we came downstairs one day like, what the hell is all of this juice all on the wall, dried up everywhere, right about at the cat thingy height. Because they wipe it everywhere. I guess you out there as a shepherd, you walking around. Sheep get all in heat and stuff, and the shepherd, hey, get off me, stop it. Ah. And the shepherd just walking, and that one sheep just keep rubbing his butt over there late at night. And one day the shepherd just like, oh, you just don't go with it. People, leave animals alone. All right, just don't leave them alone. This is why I'm okay with the robot sex doll things. I'm okay with that because people, they're gonna screw everything. If it's a monkey, is it men? We got problems, y'all. We got problems. I would never do nothing like that. No, I wouldn't. I would. You know what? I don't like wouldn't. I ain't gonna say that. Never mind. Take it back. I take it back. I just say that I'm glad that I'm privileged enough to not be in the fields with the sheeps and on the pasture with the horses. I'll say that because anytime you tell God that you ain't gonna do something, you the next scene. That's how God works. I don't know what God is, but God is a comedian. You try to tell God what your kids ain't gonna do, what they ain't gonna do. You go ahead and try to tell, I ain't never gonna, because that's my whole life. I just give you my experiences. Anytime I say I ain't never gonna do something, this God thing, whatever it is, like, he said he ain't never, he start writing in the book of life. In the next life, later in life, after the apocalypse and the zombies get to walking, Gerard gonna take up with a band of people like the Walking Dead, and his job is gonna have to be grazing the sheep. And this will be a gang of murderers and thieves and no women in the group. He's gonna have to spend long days walking the sheep. You go ahead and tell God what you ain't gonna do. I don't know what karma is, I don't know what God is, I just know this. You think that you're not gonna do something, it's like a movie, because the very next scene in your life, you're gonna remember you're gonna be doing that thing. So I say I never. I just say that, you know what, I'm glad that I'm privileged. I have never looked at a dog, a sheep booty, a horse butt, some donkeys. I have never looked at their butt and just got interested. It never happened. Never happened. Never. It never happened. No man butt. It ain't had nobody. I'm just not interested. It's my thing. Ain't nothing wrong if you are. It's a good thing if you just make sure that it's a consenting booty cheek. That's all I'm saying. If it's a sheep, just make sure the sheep is in heat and rubbing on you. I'm fine with all of that. As long as it's consensual. Another man, another woman, I'm good on all of that. As long as it's consenting and it's juices and everybody happy to be up in it, I'm good. And again, once again, I'm end on this. You have to go to war. In a world where you got UFOs flying around everywhere, because I can't end on butt sheep booty. I cannot do that. My name is not Beaufont. I cannot get away. Where's that picture at? Is it right here? Nope, that's not. Okay, no, this was, yeah, this was, this is the one. So the points for the day. The draft, dodging the draft is a good thing because the draft is not for America. Hadn't been in a long time. So dodge the draft. That's for the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. Fighting for them is stupid. I don't care what anybody says. I'm looking for the UFO and I can't find the UFO. But anyway, you've seen it. Everybody's seen it. And you live in a time where you got free energy devices, jetson craft flying around. So much is on the news. You don't need to be in war, and you can stop fighting climate change about fossil fuels. Your government actually doesn't give a damn because they're not talking about it. So they're not talking about UFOs flying around, and we don't need the oil in the Middle East. We don't need to murder a bunch of people. It just means they want to murder a bunch of people. You got climate change, and they're fighting climate change, and fossil fuels are destroying everything, and CO2, and we got free energy devices flying around. They're not trying to fight climate change. They don't either believe in climate change or they don't give two damns about what happens to you in it. They got a luxury bunker that they're going to go to and they're going to be happy. They have a government continuity program. They're not going to defend you. The government never comes to help. That's not their job. Their job is power. When you make their power based in giving rights and giving life and food and like doing beautiful things, then the government will do it. But as long as power is based in taking your rights, they're going to keep making terrorist groups. They're going to keep scaring you. They're going to keep giving you diseases and poisoning your water and your food and your oxygen and your air because it's a system. It's not a thinking thing. It's just a system. And it requires power and money. And it will do everything that we allow it to do. All right, this is Joe. I had to go on. I have slavery. Listen, y'all have a wonderful day. Love y'all to death now. Keep calm. Feed the wolves. When the wolves got enough food, they're fine. When America has enough oil and your Pentagon got oil so it can make its ships go and its tanks and all of that stuff, they're fine. They don't need to invade Irans and blow up other countries. Feed them free energy. When you start talking free energy and you force them to and you stop listening to the climate change, CO2 nonsense and the war nonsense, then we'll be getting somewhere. The two biggest topics in the news right now are fake news. They're based in not focusing on the fact that somebody's flying free energy craft around this planet. Anyway, there you go. This is Gerard. Love y'all to death. I'm out of here. Bye, bye. Leave the sheep alone. Leave the cats alone. Leave the dogs alone. Leave the horses. Leave them alone. The donkeys and the buffalo. They don't mess with no damn buffalo. And the dolphins. And what else do people stick to their legs? All of that. Just leave them alone. Madonna, it's not just the men. Everybody leave them alone. I'm out. Bye.